Hey guys, today I'm going to be reprogramming the paddles in my Alfa to match my 430. Now this mod is free and it's easy, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Alright, so in 1 second we're going to take both of these cars for a drive and show you how the current paddles function in both of them, and then we're going to do the programming. Now this is commonly referred to as just the European shifter mod or the shifter programming mod, and like I said, it is free, but you do need some software. Honestly, when you read about it online, it does seem intimidating initially because you got to download this software thing for your laptop, then you got to buy a cable, a blue cable, a gray cable, and all these different cables, and it kind of gets expensive, and then you got to do a proxy line, blah, blah. We're going to simplify all that. You can do this much easier. Really all it involves is just one OBD2 dongle that you can connect to your phone, and it's a lot cheaper than buying all that computer stuff. Now I have all the computer stuff, and I might show you kind of how you can do it both ways, but for now we're going to make it as simple as possible. But let's go ahead and take these cars for a drive and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the stock function of the paddles, and you're probably pretty familiar with it. Basically, obviously the car is an automatic transmission car until you reach down here and put it in manual, and then you're in manual mode. Now, a simple pull of the shifters, and you just go up in the gears or down in the gears. Now there's nothing wrong with that. That is essentially the basic function of a paddle. But what if I could tell you that they could do more? Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Now you got to remember that the Alfa has brake by wire, so the brakes are a little bit kind of touchy. But when you come to a stop, you know, a lot of times it does just a little jerk as the torque converter is kind of disengaging and the brakes kind of jerk. Now really honestly, the main difference between the European version and the American version is when you stop in the regular version, it just keeps it in first gear. Pulling both paddles doesn't do anything but moving both gears. If you want to get into neutral, you simply have to go over here and push up to neutral. Now you can let off the brake and kind of relax and not hear the engine lugging with the torque converter on it. And when it turns green, you got to put it back into drive, back into manual, and now you're back in first gear. Driving in the 430, the shifting is very similar. Pull a paddle to go down, pull a paddle to go up. So where it really differs is when you're coming to a stop. So you can actually pull both paddles at any time and put it into neutral. It makes stops much smoother. It also is not lugging your engine while it's sitting there waiting on the you know, the torque converter, or in this case the throwout bearing. And then to get it back into first gear, just click up on the paddle once, you're in first gear. So again, you can do it at any point, both paddles, and it goes to neutral. Another interesting thing about the 430 is you can get in reverse. You can actually use the paddles to get out of reverse as well too, and put it into first gear. All right, so now we're going to go into the programming, but real quick, let me just show you a couple different other options you have when it comes to programming these cars. So number one, kind of the most capable one, I think, is MS Scan. So the free version has very basic limited functions, basically just code reading as far as I've found. You could pay $50 for the licensed version, but you still need a $30 cable and then a $40 gray cable and a $40 blue cable. So, you know, roughly $200 to do this setup. And I still recommend this. This is a good setup. I have tried a bunch of different dongles. Now this one's by Think Car. Actually really like this one. It's very well, comes with the adapter, all kind of cables in the package. Now this one will easily write the clutch values and stuff for the 430. That'll come in the 430 clutch video, which is coming up soon. Honestly, I could not, it can do proxy alignment and all the codes for the Alfa, but I could not figure out how to do the coding changes. So the coding changes obviously can be done by multi-scan, but that led me to the MS linker, because this adapter will work with multi-scan. So it is the gray, it is the blue, and it is the regular OBD cable for that. Or you can use it with Alfa OBD. Now links to this are in the description. I've actually really liked this, and honestly, like I said, having a good OBD2 scanner is pretty much a prerequisite for having an Alfa. So let's go ahead and get started with this. All you really got to do is pair it with your phone, and we're going to use Alfa OBD. So let's get started. All right, pretty standard stuff. Plug in the OBD2 port. Now we're just going to go ahead and press the start button one time, not to start the car, but turn it into on. Go ahead and just turn off the radio. Now I do have a trickle charger set up, and I waited till everything was at full charge because you don't want this to die in the middle of the charge. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So open up Alfa OBD. So I've already paired this. Pairing is pretty simple. There's a button on the thing and you just pair it in your regular settings. Go to your VS linker. So the first step might kind of surprise you. We're actually going to start with steering. So go pick down your Giulia 952. On this list, I just went down to steering. On select control unit, see how it says you have to use the gray adapter? Because we're using the V-Gate MS, it just says hook up your gray connector unless you have this one. Hit OK, it will connect. Okay, and then down at the bottom we have our different settings, so we can go to just read system status. We can come over here to just monitor stuff. If you go over here, this little graph button, you kind of get select gauges to scan. We're going to go steering angle sensor and hit OK. So that's going to tell us our steering angle, and we're going to go ahead and hit go. Now it's actually telling us where our steering wheel is. So I'm going to turn the steering wheel left, turn it right. What our goal here is, we need to get it to close to 0 as we can. So I'm literally just kind of tweaking the steering wheel, and there we go. We have 0 right now. So all I literally did was just turn the steering wheel to its center, and that's all we need. So it's set to 0. We'll go ahead and hit back. So the next thing we're going to do, go up to body computer, select control unit. All right, and we're going to connect to the body control module. Okay, now down here we're going to hit the battery symbol, and we're going to hit read system status. And this is just going to generate a long list. Cool thing about this is it shows you everything that your car has in its current configuration. Your rain sensor, present. Cornering lights, absent. Heated mirror, present. So in case you ever mess anything up, this has all your your saved coding. So I went through and literally just took a screenshot of all of this. All right, so now we're going to come over here to the car thing and select procedure to start. There's all different kinds of things. I guess essentially you can turn on different settings. We're going to come down here. You're going to see two that we need to do: proxy alignment and car configuration change. So go to car configuration change. All right, then we're going to hit select option. The easiest way to find this, since there's 1,000 things on here, is just type in paddle. And you get gearbox paddle logic. So we're going to click on that. Okay, select value. So right now we're in logic 1. That is the standard American car logic. I will eventually maybe check out the description. I will experiment with logic 2 and logic 3 to see what they do. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the standard logic type Europe and hit 0. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and hit start. Okay, so now we have actually changed it to the European. Okay, so now we need to go back, and we're going to go come down here and hit proxy alignment. Now remember, what we already did is we set the steering wheel angle to 0. So that's very important when you do proxy alignment. But we can go ahead and hit start. It's going to go through and tell us all our different modules. And we're going to go ahead and hit next. And it's writing the new configuration right now. Now I am seeing different things kind of reboot. The screen just rebooted right now. Probably going to be some lights on the dash. Now if you're using the blue and gray cables, it's going to ask you to swap cables, but like I said, we're using just the MS linker, so there's no need to change any cables. Lots of beeping. We got a couple service things. These are normal. All right, so finish. Proxy alignment finish. Hit OK. Now we're simply just going to turn the car off. I'm going to open the door. And then I always do this as an extra step. Anytime I do any programming, I just kind of leave the car. So we're just going to kind of close the car and wait a few moments. All right, so the proxy alignment is done. We unhooked from the power from the wall. So let's go ahead and check this out. So right now I'm in reverse, kind of just backing out of my driveway. Now check this out. Not even gonna touch the shifter. I'm just gonna go over to the paddle. We're in drive in. So I did not have to go back and touch the shifter at all. This thing kind of gets left alone. Initially, you do have to put the car in drive when you first start, but then the rest of the time, you shouldn't have to touch the paddles. So now we're coming up here. I can pull both paddles. Now I'm in neutral, make a nice smooth stop. So again, driving, and then watch, you can just put it in neutral at any point. You can put it back into drive at any point. And of course, manual mode works just like it does before. Shift up, shift down. Both paddles get neutral. Go back into drive. Pretty cool. Now just notice though, like when you go to neutral, it actually pushes you back over here. It moved the shifter, which is kind of cool. I didn't know it could do that. So you got to put it back into manual. But either way, pretty cool. So yeah, it's just stopping normal. I mean, it's not like you can't stop smooth, but there is a little bit of a jerk as the torque converter disengages and the brakes kind of like make you jerk to a stop. But sometimes it's just easier to kind of sit there in neutral, and when you want to go, push it. Now one thing it won't do is you cannot get into reverse with the paddles. Now I don't know if that's logic 2 or 3, but yeah, it does not go in reverse. So still to get in reverse, you have to push the stupid button at the back of the thing, put it in reverse, and you're good to go backwards. But back out of your spot, simply click the paddle, and we're in drive. Fun car. Now one more thing this is good for, if this means anything to you, you can put it in neutral, and guess what you can do? You can give it a little rev. Anyway, guys, it's a simple mod, it's free, it's easy, and for some reason it just makes the driving experience better. I mean, those paddles are supposed to emulate what the paddles are in cars like this, so that's all it really did. And you know, whether you use it or not, it's there, and I think you'll find a benefit to it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I got more videos coming out. Clutch here on that soon. Again, we're going to be doing the belts and all kind of maintenance to the Alfa and just kind of keeping it in tip-top shape. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.